Thank you very much, Dalibor. And now we have one more event as part of our conference opening, and that is the award of the Alan Watson Foundation, which usually would have been awarded live at our faculty, but then again, so would this conference be held. The circumstances are what they are. So I give the word to our Professor Sima Avramović, soon to be Professor Emeritus, who is the president of the Alan Watson Foundation.
My pleasure to join you. And you probably all have heard about Alan Watson, who was one of the most celebrated legal scholars at the second half of the 20th and the beginning of the 21st century, famed according to his theory of legal transplants as a great and eminent scholar in Roman law, comparative law, legal historian. He had a very interesting backgrounds, academic backgrounds, as he's Scottish, and usually they call him American scholar, but he usually stressed that he is Scottish-American scholar because he is Scottish, and that's why he had a great insights both in common law and in civil law. Of course, he was knowledgeable in many languages of the world, great intellectual, and we are happy that he is a friend of us and he was a friend of us, so that in this moment we are happy to announce the award of this year. But just a few words more about Alan. He was born in Glasgow, and the first position he got in Oxford as one of the first Scottish people who were professors in Oxford. Then he moved to Edinburgh, Glasgow, University of Virginia, University of Pennsylvania, and finally he ended at Georgia School of Law in Athens, where he spent most of his second part of life. As he usually said, my second life was connected with the United States. My first life and my first love is my Scotland. He came to the University of Belgrade for the first time in 1990s. After that, he was with us in his mines during the bombing campaign in 1999, suffering with us and fighting to stop the campaign in the United States, having great quarrels with his senator. But of course, he's more famous with his writings, not only legal transplants, a very interesting book he published at the University of Belgrade. It was in 2005. The title of the book is very provoking, The Shame of American Legal Education. It was so provocative book that no one publisher in the United States wanted to publish this book, so much about the democracy. And then Alan decided to give the publishing rights to the University of Belgrade, and it was the first edition of his book, 2005, and later on some other editing houses accepted to publish that book with so provocative titles. He founded Alan Watson Foundation in 2006, and from that time we had a lot of competitions with the best papers in legal history. Alan Watson was with us at some occasions when he personally awarded his foundation award, but after 2010 he was not able anymore to travel to the other side of the world, and unfortunately he passed away a few years ago in 2018. But our remembrance on him and gratefulness are still living, and I hope that it will live until the Alan Watson Foundation is going to exist. This year, the winner of the prize is our colleague Milica Ristić. Halfway between Byzantium and Serbia, Marriage Provisions of the Žička Povelja is the title of his paper. It is a great topic. The selection of the topic was excellent, particularly as it is significant, having in mind that Žička Povelja is issued by Stefan Prvovenčani just 800 years ago. And on the other side, the paper was perfectly in its analysis of provision of the law on marriage, very profound, very detailed, very coherent, And that's why the Commission decided that this paper is the best of all papers that arrived this year. We hope that coronavirus will not prevent Milica to accept her diploma and her awards personally in Belgrade, but in this moment she can only see the certificate of her success. And I will at the end only mention that we had also few very successful participants like Željko Loci and Branka Dračković. We hope that they could adapt a little bit more their papers to be able to publish those contributions in the Herald of Legal History, which is going to be published next year, I think, as the second volume. At the very end, after congratulations to all the participants at our Watson Foundation petition, I want to congratulate Nina Kršljanin, who is the founding mother of this event, of Iustoria, and thanks to Nina for Iustoria. Then thanks to Nina for the Herald's legal history, is also the good spirit of this great idea to develop and to start with the students journal in legal history. And finally, thanks to Nina so much for all her care about Alan Watson Foundation. So you can see the great star of today, the great star of our Department of Legal History and for the future of Serbian legal history in Belgrade is Nina Kršljanin. Nina, thanks for everything that you are doing for our discipline. All the best, and I wish you a great pleasure, great success, and my best wishes to the first speaker, Srđan Šarkić, who is my old friend. I will not try to collect remembrances, but I will say a few decades we know each other. Who is a very flexible term. All the best to everyone. I'm sorry that I have to leave very soon for another meeting, and that's why I'm at my home in this attire. All the best and enjoy the conference.
Thank you very much, Professor Avramović, and you were too kind when talking about me. Would our winner, Milica Ristić, like to say a few words while accepting the award?
Yes, I would like to say a few words if it's possible. Thank you, Nina. At the very first beginning, I would just like to check if we have any sound or other technical problems. Can you all hear me well?
We can hear you. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, great. Then I suppose I can start. Well, first of all, I would like to thank Professor Avramović for this very nice introduction. It is not my intention to take much of your time, so I just will use this opportunity to express my gratitude to the Alan Watson Foundation for organizing this year's competition, despite all these circumstances. I find it as a great example of how we should not give up from constant affirmation of science and knowledge, even in times such as these. Especially because of the fact that Professor Watson deserved it during his lifetime with his own work and commitment to legal science, especially to his theory of legal transplants. As we can see, this theory is applicable not only to legal systems in past, in history, but also in modern legal systems. I would also like to wish all the best to the participants of the conference, and I hope that we will all have three extremely pleasant and productive days. Hopefully, what I wish the most is that the next conference will be held live, so we will have a chance to meet each other as we should and work together on building and maybe on in order to enrich our legal historical world. That would be all for me for now.
Thank you very much, Milica.